is the first episode of WWE Masterminds. So introduce yourself, Mason.
Well, I'm Mason Myers. I am a WWE insider, like my friend Logan here. So, yeah.
And I'm Logan, the other WWE Mastermind with the green screen. So,
I said insider.
Mastermind, insider, whatever. We both do reviews. Okay, today's first topic, WWE 12. I got the game the day after it came out. I have to say, these graphics are amazing, even for the Nintendo Wii. I mean, there's some downsides to the Nintendo Wii, though. Like, you can't get DLC. I don't think you can create your own arena on the Wii. And they just kind of restrict a lot of things on the Wii version of most WWE games. So, Mason, what are your thoughts on WWE 12?
Well, my thoughts are, like, if you can have a different version, like, really, for, like, if you can have WWE 12 for Xbox or PlayStation 3, which I think they should be equal to all systems, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't get that either. They don't make it equal for the Wii. I mean, everything else is, like, way better on PlayStation than it is the Wii.
I'm talking about PlayStation, sorry. PlayStation 2, it sucks, basically. The PlayStation 3, though, if you buy it, like, you get Bruce Clay, and he's, like, one guy.
Yeah,
you can get all the DLC, but if you pre-own it, you can get a lot of things. But if I pre-owned it on PS2, I wouldn't have got The Rock. I would have to unlock him in a storyline, you know what I mean?
I don't think they make PS2 games anymore, though.
They do.
Oh. Well, I have to say, PS2 doesn't really suck, because PS2 is a game that Smackdown, Here Comes the Pain came out on.
That's how you debut. They should actually be nice to the PS2. Like, really? Okay, yeah, we did this. Yeah, we did it. We actually gave you guys a game. So, yeah.
But Smackdown, Here Comes the Pain. In my opinion, the best WWE game out there. Yeah. WWE 12 is the first and a half. But, I mean, for WWE 12, these graphics are amazing. Once you get a hang of the controls, it's awesome. The characters are way more intelligent, and it's a lot harder than before because and you can walk around faster, and there's not a 99% chance that you win every single match. There's like once you get a hang of the controls, it's basically 50-50.
Yeah. Everything's 50-50 in life.
But like I said, these are the best graphics I have seen from WWE 12. I mean WWE.
I'm just saying, but if you can actually do something like worth the time, like that they took on WWE 12, then yeah, you should actually be able to do it for all systems. Because look, Xbox and PS3 and maybe the Wii are able to use NXT and create their own arenas, but for NXT, you can actually do NXT stuff. And you don't have to create 6 rookies and pick 6 pros. They actually pick 6 random superstars and 6 random superstars.
See, what I've realized is the fact that even if they win or lose on NXT, you still get into the WWE one way or another.
Yeah,
I mean, FCW. FCW,
you get ECW, but ECW is like a minor program. They don't actually air anymore.
Ricardo Rodriguez, Alberto Del Rio's personal ring announcer, he actually is fighting for FCW.
Yeah, he is. I actually seen that once. It was an FCW. Ricardo Rodriguez, whatever. Yeah. And you know how Alberto Del Rio that won at the Smackdown, he had Bruce Clay with him? That was because of Ricardo Rodriguez. Ricardo Rodriguez convinced Mr. McMahon to sign Bruce Clay to a 2-year WWE contract. And now Bruce Clay will have 2 years to prove himself to get a better contract. So, basically, this is what I think. Bruce Clay defeats Cody Rhodes for the IC title. He gets a big, huge 10-year contract. Because, look, that guy's a beast. You can't say anything about it. He's a beast. I'm sorry.
You can't deny that. That Brodus Clay is freaking huge.
I don't care if he's huge or not. Like, really, he's a monster in WWE 12 and in real life. He, like, if you're, like, down, like how Umaga had him when he was about to do his, little butt to the face hit when he runs from one, post to another, but, yeah, he's still gonna do that. Like, really. He does that, but anyways, does a flip into the corner.
Yeah, anyways, let's go on to our, second and last subject of today. WWE Survivor Series. That kept me interested. I had my computer with me and there was no use for it because Survivor Series kept me so interested that I didn't want to stop watching. I mean, I was watching it on my computer, but it's like I didn't want to stop watching it and do anything else for even a split second. Because
the thing that impressed me the most, that Mark Henry came out alive without a broken ankle. Well, actually, he still has a broken ankle because of Big Show after the match. He won, and retained the split heavyweight title to Big Show. So, yeah, he actually retained it, and I was surprised.
Mark Henry came out alive. Mark Henry came out with the World Heavyweight Championship. How? Because he punched Big Show in the groin.
Yeah, which I think, he's not fighting champion.
He knew he was losing, and it was a move out of desperation to get him disqualified so he could keep his championship. Which in my opinion is just an act of cowardliness, whatever.
Because he knows that Big Show can defeat him. Big Show can defeat him.
Oh yeah, Big Show's defeated him before.
Yeah, but Big Show, I'm just saying, if he teams up with Kane again, then yeah, they might win the WWE Tag Team titles.
Actually, I think Kane quit.
No, he didn't quit. He's in SCW because he's like, his injury to his ankle. He's healing his injury. And he's in SCW right now. He doesn't have a contract at SCW, but SCW owner just said, well, you're like, we would love to have you on the show. I know you still have a contract with WWE, so yeah, we're not going to sign you to a contract. You can fight here. You can wrestle here.
Now, I don't know that FCW actually works or is owned by WWE, but I do know for a fact that most wrestlers have used FCW to get to WWE. I was actually
Dennis Clay and Wade Barrett did.
Wade Barrett and Caval. Wade Barrett and Caval. They actually fought each other on FCW.
And Skip Sheffield. Sheffield did too.
But I mean, Ricardo's actually good. But the match I saw, he lost because he was going against Ricky Steamboat's son.
Oh yeah.
And Ted DiBiase's brother, Brett DiBiase, I swear those two look exactly alike. Brett DiBiase's fighting for FCW.
What are we doing? We're getting off subject.
That's what we're supposed to do. We're talking about WWE in general, but we don't have to keep it focused on Survivor Series. We just got to bring it up.
Okay. Basically, you know what is making me curious? When is Daniel Bryan going to cash in that Money in the Bank? Remember, at Money in the Bank, he won it?
Yeah, he won it at Money in the Bank. What you didn't see was at Raw, the day after. Big Show knocked out Mark Henry. and Mark Henry was just laying there. Daniel Bryan comes running out with the referee, cashes in his Money in the Bank. No, it was Smackdown. It was actually Smackdown. It was on Smackdown. Daniel Bryan comes running in with a referee and his Money in the Bank and pins Mark Henry, and they give him the World Heavyweight Championship. And then Teddy Long comes out, ruins the moment by saying Mark Henry was not cleared to compete, so there was no match. Teddy Long was nice enough to give Daniel Bryan his Money in the Bank thing back. But what you missed was a fatal 4-way at the end.
Time out real quick. Wait, that's what CM Punk did to Edge at one time when he won the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. And to Edge. Edge wasn't cleared to compete. He was beat up by Batista.
No, it wasn't after a fight. Mark Henry was out there in crutches. Mark Henry had crutches. Mark Henry, I think he had a concussion. I don't know, but his ankle was broke. His ankle was broke. He wasn't cleared to compete. He wasn't medically cleared to compete.
Well, if you're in a ring, then yeah, don't get in the ring. Like, my perspective is, if you're not cleared to compete, I'm just gonna sit in the stands. I'm gonna sit on the announce table. Not sit on the announce table, but you know what I mean.
The script told him to come out and say that. What you don't get, the drama part of WWE is scripted.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, okay. So he didn't sit in the bleachers or anything because it wasn't in the script. Because they wrote that to happen. They actually wrote that. They showed to knock out Mark Henry and Daniel Bryan come down there and get his Money in the Bank back. What you missed at the end of Smackdown, the main event was a fatal 4-way. Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan versus Wade Barrett versus Cody Rhodes. The winner would fight Mark Henry and in a steel cage. The winner will compete for the World Heavyweight Championship against Mark Henry in a steel cage live on SmackDown this Tuesday. So we got Raw tonight, and then we got SmackDown tomorrow because they record SmackDown on Tuesdays.
Do you still have the Friday show though?
No, they're just gonna replay what they get on Tuesday. They're just gonna replay that on Friday. It's what they do with live SmackDowns.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, Survivor Series kept me interested. It was really interesting. CM Punk's the WWE Championship. Won the WWE Championship thanks to the Anaconda Vice.
Yeah, that's been his classical submission. That's been his only good submission since he was made here. He won his first 5 matches with that until he started with the GPS.
Exactly.
You know where they got Punk from? He was an ROH champion, left ROH, went to TNA. TNA fired him for doing, not doing drugs, but for not doing the script right. And then he went to FCW, wasn't even broadcasted in there, just started a couple matches, and then he was like, we're going to pick him up. They picked him up after letting, what's his name go, Chris Masters again go. This was before Chris Masters won his thing. This was back in the old days. And then he did that. So yeah, basically, yeah.
Speaking of people getting fired, actually speaking of people getting suspended, Evan Bourne was suspended for using synthetic weed.
Whoa. Air Boom partner.
Yeah, that's why Evan Bourne wasn't at Survivor Series. He was suspended for using synthetic weed.
See, this is what I hate. Jeff Hardy did it.
But they didn't even wait till after the pay-per-view to suspend him. What they should have done is waited till the pay-per-view, let him have his championship match, if he won or lost, whatever, and then he would get suspended after the pay-per-view.
Yeah, because look, Boom, didn't they say like, I had to leave, because I was going somewhere. I had to leave and not watch Survivor Series, the rest of Survivor Series, on my computer. So yeah, basically I couldn't watch it. So yeah, what happened? I watched wrestling matches and replayed it, but just didn't decide to watch it because I had separate replays. So yeah, basically what happened? Did Kofi Kingston do it by himself and win it, or did he lose
No,
it?
what happened was Kofi was in a 6-man tag.
No, it was in a 6-man. Oh, I thought you were talking about the tag team championships being defended.
No, they didn't do that because Evan Bourne wasn't there. I think no.
Yeah, I know. I would know that, but like
He was in a match, but I forget what kind of match it was.
6-man tag Survivor Series match.
Do they have that every year at Survivor Series?
Yeah,
that was it.
Survivor.
He was Team Orton, I think.
He was Team Orton. I don't actually believe him being with Team Orton. I don't know why, but I just think that they did.
Hunico was on. No. Hunico was on one of the teams. I'm not sure.
Hunico.
Sin Cara Negro. No, that's what they call Sin Cara. That's what they call Sin Cara Negro.
Oh, no, the other Sin Cara, the two brothers, they actually have them on there now?
Oh, yeah. Sin Cara Negro lost that match on Smackdown that one night, and he had to get unmasked, and it turns out he's Hunico. So the real Sin Cara is Mystico, and Sin Cara Negro was Hunico.
They're brothers.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, Hunico, Mystico, Jenny, Coco. The guy is a legendary Mexican wrestler. Don't know his name. He's very, very old. They put his name in the YouTube thing I watched. It was like a 30-minute YouTube. So yeah, basically, I even asked the guy, what is their father's real name? He never replied back. I don't know why. So yeah, basically, Mystico and Mystico are brothers.
You mean Hunico?
Hunico and Mystico are brothers. That's why they know all the moves. You remember that one Smackdown where they kept countering each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because they kept knowing each other's moves. They kept in contact. They're brothers. They trained together since they, but when they got separated, they didn't do it anymore. So yeah, basically, you know what I mean?
Okay. Well, back to Survivor Series. I really don't know what happened after that. That concludes for Sucky Episode 1. We shall see you next time.
We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Heck, we might just see you in like 10 minutes or something. You never know.
Alright.
Alright. See ya later.